So what's happening right now is that our collective is holding space for the quality or value of pure potential. Pure divine being transforming reality into an expression, a more perfect expression of its own nature. That's our pure potential. That's the definition I'm using for that word. The pure potential is full of light. It elicits a bliss response, both in our physiologies and the physiologies of the microbial world around us and in us. That pure potential is one of our great tools. Our pure potential, ever accessible, is one of our great tools. The pure potential is able to, what's happening is our healing collective is like holding it and gathering it and dropping it back into the field of pure being to gain momentum, to gain potency, to focus, to gain the ability to focus in a very specified manner. And as a collective, we can now pull this full potential up and focus it like a laser in the spots where it needs to focus. And this is going first to the bodies of fatigue. Those individuals who are feeling fatigued, who are tired, whose immune systems are compromised due to lack of rest. Fatigue dulls the senses. It blocks people's ability to comprehend truth. The pure potential is able to wash sleep deprivation out of people's etheric bodies, out of the mental and emotional bodies, out of the physical body, can wash that fatigue and that dullness out of the system. This is just divine being looking at the entire process of how the humans are there trying to evolve, the virus is there trying to support everyone's evolution, and like, what is the thing that's needed? And I wouldn't have necessarily guessed that it would have been washing fatigue out of physiologies, but there it is. But that those fatigued, strained physiologies are the ones which make decisions which are not in everyone's highest and best interest. We need the rest. We need to keep our bodies really well rested. This is so important. Clearing habits and patterns of I'm looking at everyone's physiology here, having to do with quality of sleep for everybody in our group. So the quality of sleep upgrades for everyone. We're clearing their certain, this was a thread I wanted to pick up from yesterday. It kind of came sort of sliding through my awareness briefly, and I thought, what's that? But I didn't really follow the thread yesterday, and that was a feeling of real pain, like a really deep, sharp pain in the chest, a deep, sharp pain here in our wisdom center. Now I'm seeing it, now that we're at this part of this healing process, I'm seeing that anxiety and fear. It's like a deep, traumatizing fear that rises up from the solar plexus area and comes up like a sharp needle or something up into the center of the chest area. That can inhibit quality rest. it's this structure that I'm seeing, that I was seeing from yesterday, which resides at a very, very subtle level. It's born at a subtle level of our awareness. And it is like a trigger or an activator for the sympathetic nervous system. When that deep thread of pain is there, it activates or triggers the sympathetic nervous system, and it's been sitting in bodies collectively, in all the bodies of all the people for like a long time. It's carried generation to generation. It's seen and unseen. We see it now because we've dug down with our awareness very deeply into the fine fabrics of the energy structures of the physiology. We've uncovered this thing. And again, we can't do it without Uluru, because that light is shining and it's helping illuminate all these deeper, denser levels, or the deeper, subtler levels of creation. I always have to at least give one moment of gratitude and reverence to that, because that is a thing that is real and continuing to help. But that deep pain that sits, it's like it sits at the spot where the Dumru, which I referred to yesterday, where this form that I've sent this to you guys before, this picture, where it spirals down to pure being, and then it spirals back out again to the relative. That form, that collapse, the fourfold collapse of being into the absolute, and then its reemergence back into creation. That process, it makes a shape. And the shape is kind of like two V's put together, but they're really spirals, right? People get it. You get it. You're so smart. Thank you for getting it. So that's where this sharp, dark needle of stress is sitting in people's physiologies. Of course, the virus comes and sits on that spot in people's chests. Like, of course, because that's the spot that's broken. And it looks like it's broken everywhere. It's broken across our world, and it's been camouflaged until Uluru started shining its light. Now that the light is shining, we can see this thing. And so I'm just offering it to being. We're just offering it to being. Its stability sits at the astral level, where it's not just a little spike in everyone's middle of everyone's chest, but this every little spike is connected to a thread, and the thread makes a great web that's all over the whole earth. And as I'm looking at that, I'm thinking, gee, it looks so much like that dark energy that's been gripping humanity just forever. Not forever, but for a long time, holding us into unhealthy relationships with each other, people hurting each other. So offering it back to being again, how it can be cleansed. And here's what's happening. Oh, very beautiful. So this web within the web that's connected to this little spike that's deep in the heart of each person it's getting washed like a back in the days of hand washing, where you put it in the water again, like you scrub it in like that, and like being is doing that. It's like bouncing into being. This thread like structure is falling into being again and again and again and again and again, infinite, and it's speeding up. So it's going into infinite speed of being washed by being. It's just being, the whole thing, the whole fabric of this thing is just being washed by being again, 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 again. With each stroke, with each dive into the ocean of consciousness, it comes out with more of its pure potential shining, more of its pure potential shining. there is a masculine energy that's being purified through this process. I can feel it. I can feel some kind of strong man energy coming into a place of transformation, which is so very good. I asked my sons when they were younger, because they like to do like recreating medieval battles and things like that with their suits of armor and their rubber swords. And I'm like, why do boys do this? I'm like, why? Like, what part of the being is driven to do this type of thing? And my son, who I spar with verbally, compared it to how my daughter liked to curl up like a kitten on the couch and be like all soft and get lots of soft blankets on her and be all kind of like, oh, like just getting oxytocin flowing in her system, right? And she spent a lot of time as a teenager just like that, just curled up under soft blankets, watching TV or something, sipping hot chocolate or something, you know? And it's like never, the boys would never do that. The thing they like to do is get out there with their rubber swords and I realized that it had to do with the awakening of various types of hormonal combinations in the physiology. And so that energy has, over the centuries, that male energy, which is a beautiful energy. I mean, it's the energy that protects. It's the energy that is extremely creative, and it creates, it protects, it's very buoyant. It like keeps people happy, right? It's funny. It's also funny. Like the boys are hilarious. They're bouncy kind of and hilarious. But when it's been misdirected, it has been the fuel of every war that's ever occurred. It's been behind all sorts of, you know, schisms between, is schism the right word? Like conflicts between clans and so forth that have been going on for centuries upon centuries, and justified, because I feel like the male is, it feels like I feel that way. I feel like, you know, and so that energy is being redefined. It's being redefined, and not in terms of at the virus either. That's not allowed. Because the virus is what's behind, like, we'll make a vaccine and we'll kill that, we'll eliminate that virus from Earth. And like, no, God brought this virus because we needed to upgrade our senses of perception. Excuse me, that's part of the awakening. So if we take it for what it is, I hope everybody gets to see my video on the virus that I uploaded last Sunday, about a week ago. I think it was Sunday or Monday, maybe Monday. How establishing a copacetic, harmonious relationship with the virus is the key to supporting its ultimate evolution, and therefore it's no longer having a need to damage the physiology. And at the same time, we take our own, thank you everybody for raising your hand, you're so sweet, you saw that video. Taking our own evolution into our own hands and saying the virus is trying to promote an evolutionary effect on me. So let's take a look. What do I need to do? What do I need to change? How do I need to upgrade this physiology and being in order to satisfy the presence of the virus in me and satisfy the karmic relationship that I have entered into with this being in order to promote everyone's evolution? Like, what do I need to do? And just do it.